Hi, I'm John Adams, and I'm the Public Crusader. Yesterday, ASIC crossed the line with me. Something happened in this country that shouldn't have happened. I am at a loss to explain what ASIC is doing and why they're doing it, if they're doing anything at all. I have lawyers, I have barristers who also are scratching their heads. My barrister used to work at ASIC. He used to be a senior investigator. He has 30 years experience. He has worked overseas on international white collar criminal cases as well. He is at a loss to explain to me what is ASIC doing with my package. I gave that package almost 12 months ago. We are now into month 10 of the so-called official investigation. ASIC has confirmed on 3 occasions in late July, in late November of 2022, but also as late as the 22nd of February. ASIC on 3 occasions has said there is an official investigation. They can't tell me what they're doing, and yet they are doing nothing. And while they are doing nothing, things are happening in this country that should not be happening. My patience with ASIC has come to an end. After the events of yesterday, the gloves are off. If ASIC thought that I was fighting before yesterday, they've got another thing coming. I will not give up until ASIC does their job professionally and with integrity. If my package amounts to nothing, then they should say so. They should close the investigation and say John Adams got it completely wrong. They have had that opportunity. So far, ASIC refuses to conclude the investigation. But on the other hand, they refuse to take action when the action is so obvious to take. What is going on? That is the $64 million question that me and my team are trying to figure out. I will continue to the end. I will continue until I know whether that package is either true or false. ASIC is the only entity in the country with the legal power to determine what the true state of affairs are. But dare I say, I am fearful that someone or something has interfered in the investigative process and has stalled the investigation. There are people in my team who think that the chances of that happening are remote. I think they're naive. Once people know who's involved, people's minds may start to wander in a particular direction. Some of these senior people involved I named in my confidential submission to the ASIC inquiry on the 30th of January 2023. I can confirm that my 2 submissions to the ASIC inquiry are still being processed. I have it on good authority that no additional submissions will be processed this week, but that the next round of submissions are likely to be accepted and published sometime in the next week and a half. We will wait and see what Parliament and the Senate Economic References Committee actually delivers. In the interim, I would say that last Friday we did have an interesting development. We had 20 submissions published, including the ASIC submission, which I covered in my last video. On Friday afternoon of last week, I published a press release and I said that ASIC's record was completely unacceptable. That quote became the headline in an article in the Australian Financial Review on Sunday and Monday. And the good thing about that article was I was not the only person who said ASIC's performance is unacceptable. There are senior people in academia, in various professional bodies who also take the view that law enforcement in this country, particularly when it comes to white-collar crime, is an absolute joke. Whether it is because of incompetence or whether it is deliberate, whether it is by design, that is the great hope that I hope that the inquiry can uncover, and we can finally get to a solution where we actually have clean cops and cops that actually do their job with professionalism, integrity, and speed. At this stage, it would appear that the most likely outcome from this inquiry process is a recommendation from the inquiry to break up ASIC into smaller parts. That is something that I think would be a positive move where we can actually get proper investigators with the proper experience and leadership at the top, and we can actually go after those people who would do us financial harm. In conclusion, I want to let you know that I will not give up until the end. Assuming that my submissions are accepted in the next 1 to 2 weeks, I will be releasing a video that I recorded with Martin North on the 5th of March called The Final Secret. And I think this final secret will have head spinning, and there's going to be a lot of questions that people will have as to what has happened to my package, what has happened to the investigation, and who may have interfered in that investigation and stalled it. I had hoped that I would have published that video by now, but unfortunately, the inquiry has taken much longer than what I thought was reasonable. We will wait and see what happens next week and whether the inquiry is able to get their skates on and actually fulfill its obligation to the hundreds of stakeholders who put submissions in with countless horror stories of the true state of financial crime in this country. Until then, stay safe. This is John Adams, and I am the Public Crusader.